2, 1. Good morning. So glad you're here with us. I'm Mary Winters. I'm the owner of About Senior Solutions and a gerontologist, and you're watching Visionary Aging with Nash in my lap and Logan, my little granddaughter, 3.5 over here on the other side. Oh, you can see her in the corner. She's 3. And so I get grandparenting duty this weekend, which I'm thrilled about. And today on our show, we are going to have Rebecca Goldfarb. She is an estate planning attorney who specializes in making sure that your plan will keep you protected and covered and have loved ones that will make sure that your wishes are known. She also looks at Medi-Cal and VA benefits and all sorts of situations where we can really honor our older adults and make sure that they're taken care of. We also have a birthday today. It was kind of interesting because we didn't have very much information on our little lady. It was kind of odd, actually. We had I'm going to show her on the screen, actually. All we pretty much do is just say that she was coming on, and let's see. Let me show her little picture. She's 100, and she's standing there with her walker, and her daughter's in the background. But really, all they really said was Frances Anderson came to pick up her certificate from Sulphur Springs Senior Citizens Center, and the director, Karen Weatherman, said that she came in with her daughter and picked up her certificate, and they live over in Texas there. And I guess the governor, Greg Abbott, signed it, but I just think that's so amazing, but they didn't give us any details. I think she's so lovely in her hip, fun little vintage shirt, and she's absolutely gorgeous with her beautiful smile there. But we don't have any more information, but I hope that she has a fantastic day. Frances, happy birthday to you. It's going to be Nash's number one birthday, or first birthday, on Tuesday, and we're going to be celebrating that over the weekend too. So maybe we will celebrate Frances at the table too. So thank you so much. And let's see, we've got all kinds of stuff going on now. We have Nash moving all the little yogurt dots and all kinds of great stuff. Let me go ahead and I'll bring Steve on and see what he's up to. Let's see. There we go. There he is. I don't think
Good morning.
Matching, but we are matching, it looks like.
How are you? You got your hands full.
I am, but you know what? They're so good. They slept through the night. It's fantastic. So thank you for these cards, Logan. I appreciate that. And then
kudos to them. Good job, Logan.
Yeah.
Good job, Nash.
Yeah. So what is your caregiver question? Or we kind of talked a little bit about some things too. What did you say?
Sure. My caregiver question is what are grandparents doing now that if they're helping their raising their grandkids, if they're helping their kids out, what kind of services are available to them? How many people are grandparents that are raising their grandchildren, and what services are out there to help them with this?
That's a really great question, Steve. And I did not have the time to be able to really check. I know it's actually pretty high. I was pretty surprised at the number of grandparents who are literally grandparenting and often young grandchildren. I have a woman who is actually parenting her great grandson. It was very young granddaughter who was a bit troubled, and she was raising her grandson. But there are a lot of people watching their grandchildren during the pandemic too, because parents just need that extra help. And so
Right.
I think it kind of goes back to anything with parenting, anything with caregiving. We just need to really take care of ourselves and make sure we know what our limits are and ask for help, especially as we have different changes in our bodies as an older adult. And there are some really great programs through the Pasadena, city of Pasadena. And so I would reach out to the city of Pasadena for some help and some ideas, or the city yourself, to see if there are some special programs that connect older adults.
Would that be through their senior center or through the?
It could be through the senior center, but it's actually through the city itself. So
Okay.
I would definitely check into that. And that said, too, Pasadena, city of Pasadena, I wish I had the information right in front of me. You can call my office, 626-359-0108. Hold on, honey, you gotta leave that one. We can, we have all kinds of stuff going on here. They are going out and vaccinating homebound seniors now. So it's the Pasadena
excellent.
Citizens Center, not Senior Center, but the Citizens Center. And if you call the office, 626-359-0108, I will make sure that that phone number is given to you, and you can make an appointment for a senior to come in and have them vaccinated. So great news there.
That's great.
Yeah. So we also have a really great guest.
Yes, we do.
Rebecca Goldfarb. I know you got to meet her a little bit before, and I think she's amazing. She does estate planning with her partner. That's some chapstick actually in there. And she knew she wanted to be an attorney at the age of 12. I thought that was really
cool. I saw that on her, in her bio. That's great.
Yeah. So let me put her picture up here. I'm gonna, you know what? Do you have her bio?
I had, yeah.
I'm going to show her, and I'm going to show her here. I'm going to make her solo. But, okay, I guess we're okay. But she's in partnership with Din Lu is her business partner, and their business, Goldfarb and Lu, she is able to provide services for seniors or anybody really to do estate planning. And they just love making a positive difference for their clients and wish and want everybody's wishes to be honored. Whenever they use their estate plan documents, they know that they want to pull them out and that they're current. Yes, that looks beautiful. And they do some really great work as far as establishing conservatorships when needed and planning for Medi-Cal and VA, aid in attendance, which is a really important program that I'm not sure if people know about that. And something we can talk about more today. But they also handle trust administration and probates once somebody's passed away too. So let me bring Rebecca on and see if we can talk a little bit. I might let you take over, Steve, because I think Nash is having a little problem here. Well, maybe I have a bottle because I planned. Let's see. Here we go. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm so impressed that you can multitask the way that you.
That's what we do. But I love that you wanted to be an attorney, or you knew you wanted to be an attorney at 12. Tell us about that.
Well, in the topic of grandparents, my grandparents didn't raise me, but I was extraordinarily close to all of my grandparents. And when I was 12, my mom's parents handed me their estate plan and said, this is our trust and this is what's going to happen. And I realized that because there was a big family dynamic issue in our family, that this plan was terrible. So I told them, you can't do that. This is going to be a nightmare. And they actually, a year or two later, went to their attorney and changed it. So I knew that I knew that working with old people was my thing because I love them and I was around them my whole life. And so the elder law was easy, and I just wanted to be able to make a difference for people and have long relationships with them. So estate planning and elder law is really our passion and love.
Yeah, it's amazing how when these documents are prepared, how much they do protect us and how much they help us. And it's a scurry when people don't have them. And I'm so glad that this is something that you offer to people, but I also think it's really interesting the aspect of the VA aid and attendance planning and some of the Medi-Cal planning, because that can be a very critical piece in somebody's plan as well. And especially for some of our seniors who are lower income, living just exclusively off of Social Security, I think people might be surprised to know that a third of seniors live exclusively off of their Social Security. So tell me a little bit about how you help people plan in those areas or support our veterans with the aid and attendance program.
So we used to do a lot more of it before the law changed, because what happens is now there's a look back. So before, we could just say, hey, you know, what do you have? And let's kind of, it's a little bit of a guess with them. Medi-Cal's different. It's very specific. And so let's just give some of your money away so that you can qualify, so that you can use your money and the VA money longer. But now there's this look back. And so it's really halted some of that planning. Plus, unfortunately, fewer VAs than there used to be 10 years ago. And so we're not doing as much of that, but we do a lot of Medi-Cal. But essentially the VA aid and attendance benefit is a supplement of money that can be given to the spouse of a veteran, or the veteran, or if they're both alive, to help supplement and pay for some long-term care costs. Okay. And then with Medi-Cal, we do that quite frequently. And that is essentially if you really have no money, or you have some money and we can do some planning for you, then Medi-Cal will pick up the tab for in-home support services or for placement in a skilled nursing community. And what I tell people in the beginning is this really is a last resort, because you should visit some of these communities and facilities in advance to see how you feel about that. But there are ways to plan to get people qualified sooner than the 3-year look back that California has. Okay. And as a last resort, it's amazing. I mean, it is going to pay for your care.
And for me, it's getting tougher and tougher to find locations that will accept somebody on Medi-Cal. So are you seeing that as well, or tell me a little bit more about.
I mean, I don't do the placement part. That's more for you. But I think in terms. It's so cute. I think in terms of finding the location, it is a little bit tricky. And there's also a waiver program within Medi-Cal for assisted livings, and that's always got a waiting list because they only have so many of those to give out. But there are lots of different programs that Medi-Cal offers to help all kinds of people, not just older people, sort of get some services that they need. You're muted.
Nash muted her.
We got the bottle going here. Yeah, I know. Like in-home support services too. Are you hearing that people are having more struggle getting the hours that they might need for that, or is that something
that's always been a struggle? Because they're only, I remember with my mother-in-law, we tried to apply. The trickiest part with her was she was in and out of the hospital. Mm-hmm. At the end, she had cancer, and so they will only interview you at home, and they will only give you, that 40 hours a week. Or if you can apply for the other program, which I'm blanking on the name, then it's 240 hours a month, but it's not full time. Right. So people need full time. That doesn't really help, and it's only paying a portion of what a caregiver company would charge. But it's still, every little bit helps when you really don't have anything.
Exactly. Steve, what kinds of things do you think, from an outside looking in, what kinds of things do you think would be helpful in regards to estate planning?
Well, I was curious how the past year has affected your business, and what extra steps or different steps have you had to take because of the COVID, the pandemic, and not being able to see clients personally. Like, how have you dealt with that challenge?
Well, I miss hugging clients. And I think that's the hardest part, is that I can't be with them. I can't hand them a tissue box. We talk about really important, intimate issues, and there's something about being in person that is so powerful,
Right.
and rewarding, that I miss. But we're adaptable, resourceful people, as a species, and so Zoom has made this possible to keep going. And it's going to be really weird to go back and still not be able to hug people like that. That's going to be really weird for me. I know that sounds weird that your lawyer is hugging, but like I hug every single time. So
Lawyers are people too.
yeah, some of us.
True. Very true.
But I think in terms of overall, it really sparked our business, as with a lot of estate planners. So we've had to hire several new team members and grow our team to be able to provide the level of detail and service and concierge and handholding that we do. So I think that we've been fortunate in that way. But I know that a lot of people will either have their estate plan done and think I'm kind of done, or not have it done and not really know what to do. So if you're open, I'd like to just share some tips for people to really think about
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
If you're caring for someone else, or even just for you, it's really important to have a comprehensive estate plan. And the advance directive, to me, is the most important document, because it is when you are incapacitated and someone is standing in your shoes to make decisions. These documents are notoriously anemic with details. And I think that is a disservice to the people you love, because here you are saying, stand in my shoes and make decisions, but I'm not telling you any details. So for me, that's a really big deal. If they're done well, they work perfectly to avoid conservatorship almost all of the time. But if they're not done well, then we're headed to conservatorship, and that is painful and expensive.
It is. And share a little bit about what conservatorship is, and because it is painful and expensive, and it's definitely something that happens without an estate plan. But I'm also curious to know how you kind of make sure that that is avoided within the plan that you do. So just share a little bit about conservatorship.
Absolutely. So for everyone, out there, once you turn 18, you must have an advance directive and power of attorney. This has nothing to do with whether you have assets. And if you have those documents and become incapacitated, then you are going to have someone step in your shoes. If you don't have those documents and you become incapacitated, then the conservatorship process is one for, you can get conservatorship over the person, so that's like the advance directive, or conservatorship over the estate, and that's the power of attorney. And this process is about $10,000 to start, and about $5,000 every year for the rest of the conservatee's life. So we advocate every client who has an 18-year-old kid, I'm like, here's some statutory documents, fill them out. I don't care. Those don't have to be as detailed when you're young, but at least if something happens, then someone has legal authority. And that conservatorship process is just a waste of resources. Now, I will say the only time that we have to do it is if the person who has lost capacity refuses to allow the agents to help. The only way you can take someone's power away and say, you need care, it's not safe, or whatever the circumstance, or you're getting financially scammed. I did a presentation earlier this week, and with a financial advisor, and he said that $2 billion a year is that scam industry. And so it's happening every single day. And so in some of those situations, obviously conservatorship is important when we can't control the person.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Actually, I have a situation right now with a newer client, and he agreed to be voluntarily conserved, which made him feel like he was in control. Somebody had scammed him and wired a few $100,000 out of his account, and actually had his estate plan changed or created to favor her and leave all the children out and so forth. And just really conniving and awful, but also because he's not understanding the process and why he's not in control of certain things anymore. He'll probably refuse moving
At
forward
some
with the conservatorship,
yeah.
which means he
It gets difficult.
involuntarily conserved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's difficult. It's
yeah,
difficult.
it really is. It
So
really
yeah,
is.
I can't express enough how important it is to get that advanced directive and power of attorney done. That avoids conservatorship. But then we have the probate side of things. And the only way to avoid that, if you have, a home and some assets, is through a trust. And we see so many trusts that are going to fail because they have the wrong people in charge, because they have multiple co-trustees. That is not usually a good plan. And then also the funding isn't done, right? So if you have your trust, that's great, but you want to make sure that all your assets have been properly retitled into the name of the trust or beneficiaries updated. So unfortunately, we see a lot where there are not beneficiary designations on things, and so we have to go to court, or what can be really devastating for family harmony, which is one of the major goals of a good estate plan, is that there will be family harmony at the end, is that beneficiary designations contradict the wishes of what your trust says. And beneficiary designations supersede everything else. So if you don't want that person to get it, but they're named, it's your ex, it's somebody you don't talk to anymore, whatever, they're getting it. So
yeah, we see that a lot too. Or how often do you see that somebody was not legally divorced and married someone else, and then all of a sudden you have another issue with who is the spouse, and somebody not
messy.
The spouse. Yeah, very messy.
So our
I have
job
a-
is to fix those mistakes and make it so it's clean and simple. People can grieve, people can be there emotionally and in their mindful ways, and not have to deal with all the legal BS that gets in the way of being able to do that.
I had a friend who his dad passed away, and he had a will. He also had a bank account for a corporation, and he didn't have a beneficiary listed for that, and that it was the bank wouldn't accept the will to give the money to the family, so they ended up having to go through the legal process of working through that, and it was messy and drawn out and expensive.
And all wills go through probate. So having a will alone is insufficient if you have
Right.
over $66,250.
And they
Unless
thought that would control everything. They thought, well, he has a will, so we're good. But
that is a common myth, and unfortunately an expensive, painful one. Our probate process is the fees are a formula, but let's just say it's between 3 and 4% of your gross estate. So for all of us who have real estate with a mortgage, you don't get to subtract the mortgage. They are looking at the fair market value of your real estate. And in Southern California, that's pretty high. So you're paying all these fees, and you could have this huge mortgage, you're still paying all these fees. And half goes to the lawyer and half goes to the administrator. And so I tell people, yes, I have a daughter and I need to send her to, save for college, but don't waste it on me. Get your trust done so that it's cheaper and better for your family.
right. So you mentioned updating information. How often do you meet with your clients to update what's going on in their lives, or different, how things change, life changes?
So whenever clients reach out to us, obviously we will do a maintenance meeting. But as a part of our flat fee structure, we do maintenance meetings every 5 years. And those are just included in our initial fee that we charge to create the plan. So we think every 5 years we used to do it every 2 years. People were like, I don't have anything. Then we switched it to 3 years. They're like, I don't have anything. We're like, okay, maybe 5 years is the sweet spot. And with your advanced directive, every 5-10 years, you will get to that next age bracket where you might have a different definition of what quality of life is for you. And so you need to update that. And certainly as we get, decades, every decade or so, maybe your kids are in the role now that they can make decisions for you, and it's not your parents anymore, or it's not your friends. And so you want to make sure that the fiduciaries you've put in place are the right people.
Yeah, that's always very interesting too, who you select. Or do you ever recommend having 2 or 3 or 5 of the children all making decisions at the same time? I see that is
Never. Never, but I will put them in order. And I will have, 3 or 4 or 5 people as successors. But I really grill, that's probably the wrong word. Interrogate, also the wrong word. I really
Sometimes.
try to make sure that if they are going to name 2 people, that they have dealt with family drama before, that they have helped administer a grandparent's estate plan, that they really process grief similarly, right? And that they handle their business affairs. You don't want one person who's a procrastinator, or one person who's like, let's get it done right now, right? Or one person who's going to fall apart emotionally, and then you're relying on them. You have to work together for everything as co-trustees, right? So I don't like, so I interview the parents, I interview the kids, if we're going to do that, to make sure we're really setting up for success and not failure. But with power of attorney, some financial institutions won't accept co-agents. So with that, I say 100%, you cannot have co-agents. You have to have one and then the other. With the advance directive, you can have co-people, but we have to have a mechanism if they don't agree. So that's the next level. If they don't agree, whose opinion supersedes whose, or is there a third party who comes in? Like, we're really just looking at the reality of worst case scenario all the time. And we hope it never happens.
That's a really great idea. Logan's singing in the background. She likes that idea too.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah.
So, are there any new laws that have gone into effect this year that are affecting estates and trusts that people need to know about?
I wouldn't say for this year, but I will say historically, the big one that comes up is having a HIPAA waiver for the Advanced Healthcare Directive. And a lot of people, even they've gone to a lawyer to create this, and it was after 2004 when the Privacy Act came into law, and they still don't have a HIPAA waiver. So we really need those. I also see a lot of people historically, the lawyer created an A-B split in the trust, which essentially means when one spouse dies, everything does not go to the survivor, and 2 new trusts are born, the survivor's trust and the decedent's trust. So the survivor can change his or her side, but not the other side. And this was done for tax purposes. We don't need to do that anymore for a variety of reasons, but specifically the estate tax is only triggered after you have 23 million as a couple right now. So most people aren't falling into that bracket, but that mandatory AB split is very, very difficult for families and unexpected. They are not thinking that this is the case. So those are the big things law-wise. Now, with our new administration, there will be a change, I expect, in the estate tax. California doesn't have an inheritance or an estate tax, so it's just the federal that we have to comply with. So it will go down, and so for some people, we may need to do some tax planning. The only other one I can think of, which also wasn't this year, but last year, was when you are passing IRAs down or retiring, Roth or otherwise down, you can't stretch it out over 10 years. I'm sorry, you can't stretch it out over the actuarial life expectancy of your beneficiary. The max now is 10 years. So that changed how people are dealing with IRAs to some extent. And so for those who have like some charitable contributions they want to make, they might give some of their IRA to a charity instead because they don't have to pay tax. But those are the ones that come to mind.
That's fantastic. Just so much great information, Rebecca, in such a short period of time. And thank you so much for working around my little chaos. And, it's all about, you just work with what you have, and it's better to plan so that you have something immediate to go to and things aren't scary. And, these little guys can be protected if it doesn't mean that you're an elder and you need an estate plan, but truly you do need some of these key items, even when you're 18, to make sure your parents or a best friend can help you make decisions if you were in an accident of some kind too. So.
And one last thing I will say is that if people feel very strongly that they do not want to be resuscitated, so they want a DNR, be sure that you create a POLST, a physician's orders for life-sustaining treatment. It's that hot pink piece of paper, and that you fill it out correctly. I see it filled out wrong all the time. And so that's and then you have to post it. It has to be up. So we really want to make sure that that's a big wish not to honor. And so we want to make sure that gets honored, and the POLST is the way to do that.
Rebecca, tell us just real quick about your company. How do we get in touch with you? How do people get a hold of you? Email, phone number, good things like that.
So our phone number is 800-489-1984.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at that. So fancy, Mary. Our website is goldfarbloo.com, and you can find us on Yelp and all the different social media. We are located in Tarzana, but we help people all over California, and none of us are there now, so we're all working from home all over the place. So we're always happy to answer questions. If you have any, call us, and we'll set up a time to just have a complimentary 15-minute chat. And we help a lot of people just over the phone and give them resources.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate everything. And I'm going to go ahead and drop us out and go ahead and wrap up. So thank you and have a great Friday, everyone.
You too. Take care.
You too.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
You too.